Hey guys, so I have a new cactus fruit to share with you. I think I got lucky uh, even stumbling across this one. So this is another one that I found at our local Mexican mart. And this one is called a Mexican Pitaya. Uh, Not to be confused with dragon fruit. So this one, so I will show it to you briefly. Unfortunately, the ones I have begun to mold, but I am going to cut them open and get a little bit of the experience from the inside away from the molds. But when I stumbled across this, I'm like, what the heck is this? It doesn't look like a nopales tuna fruit. It looks similar enough. I will show you the picture that I took of the basket that these were in, and it was just labeled Pattaya. So I'm like Googling, I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And then I finally stumbled on it because it's got such a generalized name. It took me a little bit of time to figure it out. So now that I've found it, I'll read you what this says because it's interesting, and I don't know, cactus fruit excite me for some reason. So these are in the United States known as the Organ Pipe Cactus, botanically known as Stenocereus Thurberi. Probably butchered that. So it is a member of the Cactiaceae family, obviously, because it's a big cactus. It's the second largest cactus species in the United States. So the Organ Pipe Cactus can grow up to 24 feet in height and owes its modern name to early settlers who, upon first encountering it, associated its tall, upright growing branches with the musical instrument of the same name. The Organ Pipe Cactus was originally and still today is known by the name Pattaya dulce, sweet pitaya, or simply pitaya. That's why when I found it at the little mart, it was just called Pattaya, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And it goes on to say, not to be confused with dragon fruit pitaya, another cactus fruit. Today, the bulk of the organ pipe cacti in the United States are located in a protected monument region, and as a result, the fruits are not commonly consumed or sold. So that's why I feel like I got lucky even spotting this one. I must have been in the right place at the right time. In Mexico, however, the cactus still grows wild, and when the fruits come into season, they are harvested to provide a source of food locally, as well as a source of income as a crop sold at the markets. So that explains why I was able to find it. So the cactus fruit has predominantly been used as a source of calories and hydration in the desert regions where it has long been grown. So I've already cut one open, and it almost looks like a jelly, because I didn't realize that this was going to be as delicate as it is. It's very soft now. I've only had it for a couple days, and it, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's already started to mold, sadly. I thought I would have more time with this. I have tasted it a little bit, but let me go in for another try, and I will certainly avoid the mold on the skin that I took off. So it's definitely a cactus fruit. Like it reminds me of a tuna, the nopales fruit. And this thing is turned into such mush that I can't quite can't quite get a good Okay, so the texture reminds me of nopales fruit, but it's much more gelatinous. And since this one is obviously extremely ripe, since it's falling apart, it's very flavorful. I think it's kind of berry-like. I'll have to get one of these some other time. It's probably going to be in the future. I went back to the store and they were all gone. So if mine are falling apart and molding, then there's no way they're at the store still. Sadly. But let me show you some of these thorns. So these things are covered in these crazy thorns, and when they're ready to harvest, they start dropping their thorns, but when you get some, they're probably still going to have them. And they just kind of look like little spiders. Anyway, I wanted to talk more about the background of this fruit, because it kind of touches on some of my interest in terms of history. So here's some more cultural stuff about it. The fruit of the Organ Pipe Cactus has long provided a source of calories for Native Americans in the southwestern United States and Mexico. Lima and Papago tribes collected the fruits when ripe and would eat them fresh, ferment them to make wine, and dry the fruits to provide sustenance long past the hot summer fruiting season of the cactus. The seeds of the fruit were also dried and ground down to make flour for use in making seed cakes. Organ pipe cactus fruit was also used medicinally, and the cactus stems used to build shelter and torches. The fruits were such a staple in the Papago diet that their name given to the Milky Way galaxy was the second harvest of Pattaya. So, like I said, stuff like this is super interesting when it has cultural significance to, or had cultural significance to like a native population. And sadly, it goes on to say that these are becoming threatened species. And so they're protected in the Organ Pipe National Monument. But in Mexico, so I mentioned they grow wild in Mexico, but in some areas, apparently they are being cleared for like various developments. So that in that way, they are beginning to become threatened. So that is a shame. So I hope you thought that bit of background was interesting. I'm trying to include more history and knowledge about the fruits that I explore when I do. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to give this much of a spotlight because it's done this molding. But I got to taste it a little bit. I couldn't like get in there like it was an apple or anything. And I am going to attempt to grow some of these seeds that I'll recover from this mess, because I have had some success with growing some other cacti from seeds. So we'll see if I can get anything from this in the future. So I'll see you guys in the next one.